Hey, this is Nev Lapwood from Snowboard Addiction, and I'm doing our live stream every Wednesday, 5:30, where you can jump on and ask me anything about snowboarding. Jesse, is it working?
I don't see anything yet going into the live chat. Still waiting.
This is exactly the problems I was having on the mountain the other day. Oh, it looks like I got two people there. Okay, looks like it's working. 1, 2, 3, Genesi. 1, 2, 3. Hey, how's it going? Tai G, it's working. All right, Jesse, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. I'm not seeing anything on my end, but if it's working, it's working.
It's working. Okay, awesome. So this is Nev Lapwood here from Snowboard Addiction. We're doing our live stream every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. And I can see that it's working because you guys are sending me messages there. So that is awesome. I had huge technical problems last week with YouTube. I tried to do a live stream from on the mountain. Got it to work eventually, but man, it was frustrating. And again today, we had issues getting it started, but it seems to have started working. So I think YouTube's changing their stuff a lot and making it difficult. Anyway, I am on my balcony in my house doing it outside today. We're changing offices in Whistler right now. I went down to the office earlier today, but it was a bit of a madhouse because the business that was there is moving out. So just wanted to do it from my house, a bit quieter here, and teach you guys some stuff. I have balance bar set up, training board behind me, planning to teach you some bits and pieces. If any of you guys have any requests, feel free to pop them through on the chat here, and I can teach you anything you would like to know about snowboarding or snowboard technique. So yeah, and I'll also answer your questions. So I love your channel. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, QC. Hi from Seattle. Hi. My first hone's gonna die. My first hone. It's probably like your phone's gonna die. Yeah, phone. There we go. I love all your content, Nev. Keep up the amazing work. You will have helped me learn snowboard. You have helped me learn snowboard years ago, and I still watch. Good stuff. All right. So is this a jib or a tramp board? The one I have behind me is a jib board. I also have a tramp board inside, but I like using the jib board because it's a little bit harder. It makes it feel more like a snowboard. It's a little bit more slippery, so it's more realistic. So since there's not a lot of questions right now, I want to jump on and teach you guys some stuff. So let's teach you a more hard trick this time, just for something different. We're going to teach you how to do a tail slide with a 270 up. I'm going to get on the jib board, and then I'll come back and answer the questions in a minute. I won't be able to see them while I'm teaching you guys. Hopefully the volume's okay. I'm outside, and the lighting looks okay. Let me know if you have any feedback on that stuff. So this here is a balance bar and jib board. Now, if you guys have your own jib board and balance bar, feel free to follow along with me. If you don't, you can always make your own. You can make one out of an old skateboard deck or some kind of wooden log for the balance bar. All right. And the trick we're going to go into today, I'm going to show you the finished trick, but then I'm going to break it down a little bit to show you different steps. So the finished trick is frontside tailslide 270 up. That's how it looks. I'm going to break it down a little bit. So the first thing you have to be able to do is obviously a frontside tailslide. The reason it's called frontside is because the bar is in front of you. So frontside tailslide coming out to fakie. When I say coming out to fakie, that just means coming out switch. So coming in frontside tailslide coming out to fakie. Now this trick uses rotation. What I mean by that is your upper body and lower body are going to be rotating in the same direction throughout the trick. So there's a real key point to getting the 270 up. What it is that as you get into the tail slide, if you're just kind of relaxed with your upper body, you're not going to get a 270 up. If you can open up your upper body where it's twisted around so far that it can't twist anymore, that's when you're going to get the 270 up. So if you watch me just here on the flat, not even with the board, not even with the balance bar, jump into tail slide, I let my upper body keep rotating around, and when I can't rotate anymore, that's when I get that 270 up with a blind landing, looking into my new direction. So, jumping in, tail slide, opening up as far as I can, 270 out. I'm going to move it to the balance bar here. So I jump up into tail slide. Now, if you just relax with the upper body, it's not going to work. You'll probably get a tail slide to fakie. But when you want to get that 270 out, you've got to open up the upper body as much as you can. And I was trying to stall it out, but it's actually easier if I just do the trick. So watch my upper body, how much it opens before I 270 out. Open, up. That one didn't work. Open, 270 out. Open up, 270 out. Okay, and if you're finding you can't get a 270 out, what you're probably doing is not opening up enough. Okay, so I'm going to show you it also from the other side. If I was to do it from this side, it's a backside approach. Rails behind me, backside. So it's actually called a blunt slide. Backside blunt from this way. If you do the back one and you open up with the upper body all the way until you can't open up anymore, that's when you can slap that little 270 at the end. So here I go, back blunt. Oh, that was not a good one. Back blunt, 270 out. Open up, close. Jump up into tail, open up, 270 out. Blind landing. Okay, I'm going to pull in here and answer some of the questions. And then I'm going to do some more of that throughout the live session and teach you guys some different bits and pieces. Just going to drink water. All right. Okay, 123 Janice says, your videos really taught me how to snowboard. I really appreciate it because I always thought I'd be a ski person, but snowboard is better. Well, I used to be a skier when I grew up. From about 5 years old to 10 years old, I was a skier. And I saw people snowboarding, wanted to try it. And that's I started snowboarding when I was about 10 years old. So, sport, oh man. I'm leaving carving. I'm learning carving and telling people and people tell me I'm bending over at the waist. Any tips, exercises, stretches? Definitely. I've got some tips for you. I just want to see if anyone asked anything about the tail slide 270 out. Volume and lighting is pretty good. Good connection too. Awesome. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to your question about the carving. Is that if you're learning how to carve, now just to show you the difference between carving and sliding your turns, is when you're snowboarding, if you're turning and controlling your speed at the end of each turn, what you're probably doing is sliding your turns. When it comes to carving your turns, this is where you're only using the edge of your board and you're keeping all your speed through every turn. So you're going heel side turn, toe side turn with no loss of speed, just using your edge. That's carving, where it makes a very thin line in the snow. And it's really a cool feeling. It's really like high speed riding and smooth riding. So you're talking about bending over at the waist, which means that when you're riding, you're probably doing something like this, where your bum sticks out a bit and your upper body goes down. And that's not a very balanced position of a snowboard. Unfortunately, it is very common. A lot of people end up doing that, especially when they're doing it. A lot of people do it on the heel edge. So they'll come around carving a heel edge turn and they're trying to get that edge. But why they lean over for this, like this, is to keep the weight over top of the board. But I'm going to show you a better way of keeping the weight on top of the board. So right now, I'm doing a live stream on the internet with my customers. Yeah, that's why I'm talking to my computer up here. So right now, if you look at my body and you see me leaning over like this, what you want to do is actually bend your knees, push your shins forward so your whole body moves into this position. So now what it allows me to do is use the edges of my board while keeping my upper body upright. So the vast majority of time, if people are leaning over too far, it's because they're not pushing their knees and their shins forward enough in their snowboard stance. If you push your knees and your shins forward, it brings your hips forward, which brings your back more upright, which keeps the weight over top of the board in this nice postured snowboard stance, which is a lot more balanced for your riding than this position of leaning over with the upper body. Now, if you want to know how to get into this position, one way of doing it is by putting more forward lean onto your bindings. So on the back of your bindings is a little adjustment which helps to angle the angle of your bindings more forward. The more you do that, the more it puts you into this kind of forward style of riding, where there's going to be pressure on the backs of your calves. But that's actually a really good posture for snowboarding. Okay, so now Sporterman asking about the carving. I actually have a good video on this on the internet. It's called Improve Your Riding. And it's from a few years ago. I think it's about 10 or 12 minutes long. It has a couple of different exercises for things you can do to be better at carving and be better at your general riding. Okay, Juice. Yo, Nev, I learned to backflip on the tramp. I just need to do it with the tramp board on now. Nice one. Good stuff. Yeah, it's way better. It's way more safe to learn it without a board on first, then put a board on the tramp, and then take it to your snowboarding. And if you're going to take it to your snowboarding, try to get like a super good powder day or soft slushy day or some really soft, forgiving conditions so that if you do fall a few times, you don't get too hurt. All right. Dom Brothers Productions. What's the difference between the jib and the tramp board? Good question. I'll show you it real quickly. This is the jib board, and the jib board is a PTX bottom board like the bottom of a snowboard. The jib board is a bit more slippery. It feels more like what a snowboard's going to feel like on a box and rail. So you have to have a little bit better balance. If you're a beginner jibbing first time, I actually recommend the tramp board because the tramp board has a foam bottom, which is really grippy. And why the tramp board has a foam bottom is predominantly because it's meant to be used on trampolines. And when you're bouncing on the tramps, you want good grip. If you're going to be spinning 3s, 5s, backflips, front flips, cork spins on the tramp, you want to have good grip away from the trampoline. If you try to use the jib board on the tramp, which you can do, but it's way more slippery. So it's not great for the trampoline. But being difficult like that has its advantages too, because it makes you learn the trick even better. So yeah, jib board is predominantly designed to be on the balance bar. Tramp board is predominantly designed to be on the trampoline, but the tramp board is great on the balance bar for beginners because the foam bottom gives you more grip, which makes it easy. It's almost like cheating on the balance bar. And then as you get good, the jib board will challenge you more, challenge your muscles, challenge your balance because it's more difficult. All in. On a real rail, do you actually have enough friction to complete the 270? How come you don't slide out? Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, I mean, lots of people do 270s out, and there's not really a friction on. There's not much friction when you're sliding rails. You're making the 270 happen from your body position. So it's very much the same position that you would do practicing it on the balance bar as you would doing it on a rail. You don't have a lot of grip pushing away from the rail. You do it from the body position that you have. And he's asking, how come you don't slide out? How come you don't slide out on a rail really comes down to where your balance is. So where the weight of your body is. So if this is a rail and it's flat, and this is my body weight, if your weight is pushing into the rail that way, then you have no need to fall over. If, however, the rail goes downhill and you need to put your weight downhill to stay in balance, because if you stand upright on a downhill rail, you're going to slip out very quick. So if you can think about your upper body always being pushing into the rail, no matter which way the rail is going, if it's up rail this way, if it's down rail this way, that'll help you to stay balanced on the rail so you don't slip out. QC is asking where I normally snowboard. I live in Whistler, which is in Canada, and I snowboard here about 6 months of the year because we get a nice long season. In fact, it's May, 15th right now, and we're still open for about another 10 days. So it doesn't look like it down here because we're at the village level, and there's no more snow down here, but up in the mountain, there's still lots of snow. So got got about 10 more days, and hoping to get up there a few more times. Chuck Van, haha, busted by the neighbors. Oh yeah, I was. It was a tenant who lives downstairs for us was wondering why I'm up on the balcony talking to my computer. So I just had to explain to him that I'm doing a live stream on the internet. Nev doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he prefers Dos Equis. Sure thing. I like Dos Equis. Send me some Dos Equis. Actually, if you're in Whistler, come around to my house and we'll have a Dos Equis together on the balcony. It's nice up here, especially on days like today when it's sunny. What is your favorite mountain? Okay, so my favorite mountain is probably Whistler, and that's where I live here. It's a good spot. It is, man, there's lots of good terrain up here. I've also been to Japan a couple times, and I really like Japan. The snow in Japan is fantastic. It's very light, dry powder, and they get a lot of it. But overall, I think I like Whistler a bit better just because we get more terrain, maybe some more different weather. Like we get more bluebird days. Japan doesn't always get very many sunny days. And we get really good terrain parks here too, which is awesome. So anyway, I want to go on and teach you guys some more stuff because I feel like you get the most out of me teaching you different things on the balance bar. So if you have any questions about what I'm teaching, hit me up and I'll come back to the chat here and answer them in a few minutes. All right. Okay. So we're on the Snowboard Addiction Jib Board balance bar. Follow along with me if you have one. Otherwise, make your own and do this. The trick we just taught before was the Tailslide 270 out. So I'll recap that a little bit. Tailslide 270 out. The motions of it is kind of like a frontside 360. You wind up to get the momentum like a frontside 3, but you land on the tail, open up through your upper body, and when you're opened up as much as you can, that's when you snap that 270 out. Boom. Okay. Now, this kind of trick, but opposite, would be doing it like the front board with the 270 out. So this trick is actually called frontside blunt slide 270 out, front blunt 270 out. So if you watch me, I'm going to jump up and into my tail position. Oh, and I didn't get the 270 out there, but I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to jump up into a front blunt on my back leg. This is almost like a backside 360. Jumping up, spinning in, 270 out. So you'll see how this is opposite. Tail slide 270 is like a front 3. Wind up. That's the tail slide 270. This is the front blunt 270. It's like a backside 360. Front blunt 360. Front blunt 270. Okay. I'm actually also going to add the white top piece because not only does the white top piece make it a little bit more difficult for balancing, there's less surface area, it also makes you ollie a little bit higher, challenges your balance, gives you that little bit of extra height off the ground too, which can make the 270 out ever so slightly easier. So here we go. Tail slide 270 out. So I just had that tiny little bit more time to get the 270. Key thing for that 270 is being super open right as you pop it. Open up with the upper body. That's how you get the 270 out. Rotating in, a little bit of momentum, front side, momentum, boom, 270 out. And here we go, front blunt 270. It's like a back 3. Winding a little bit in, like you're going to spin backside. It starts the momentum. 270 out. So you jump into that tail, and when your body gets all the way open like this, you're almost looking back to where you're going. You can't open up anymore. That's when you get the 270 out. I'm going to come back to that in a sec. I just want to see if you guys have any specific questions on what I'm doing there. Okay. So Monique says, does the Jib Board and the blue thing, balance bar, only good for practicing park riding? Well, yes and no. It's designed to be practiced for like rail and box tricks, but in reality, you're training all of your balance muscles and your snowboard muscles. So being able to do different tricks and techniques on this balance bar is going to improve your overall snowboarding. It's going to make your legs stronger. And that's especially useful if you're someone who only gets to ride a couple of weeks a year. If you only get to ride a couple of weeks a year, you probably don't have a lot of conditioning on your snowboard muscles, and this will help for that. It'll help so that you can get the most out of any snowboard time you do have, so that when you do get to a mountain, you can ride all day. Okay, I'm going to get back into teaching a couple of things here, and then feel free to pop up any more questions about what I'm teaching. Good, I'm just doing a live stream right now. Teaching some people on the internet. Okay. So, this here's the frontside tailslide with a 270 up. And if I did it from the other side, this here, different trick, because now you're coming from the backside. It's actually now called a backside blunt slide 270 out. But the actual movements of the trick are very similar, just a slightly different angle of approach. Backside, blunt slide, 270 out. Boom. Okay, now I'm going to show you a different variation of this trick, which is a pretty cool variation. So instead of 270ing out, what I'm going to do is actually the exact same technique, but I'm going to change up on the bar. So I'm going to go tail slide, front board, out. So instead of 270ing out, I'm going to change up and then go out. So tail slide, but instead of 270ing, oh, I did not make that one. Boom. It's called a change up, where you do two different types of rail tricks in one go. So if I was to show you from this side, that was a different one. So I'm going to keep it real similar to the tail slide 270 out. Tail slide, so front board, out. All right. Just another variation of rail tricks, jib tricks. Oh man, I'm puffed. You guys are making me work hard for this. Okay. What's the difference in stiffness between the jib board and the tramp board? The jib board is stiffer than the tramp board. The tramp board has got a foam bottom, and it's really flexy for the trampoline, so it bounces a lot with the tramp, gives you a good pop out of the tramp. The stiff board is more like a snowboard. The PTX base makes it much stiffer, which is good for jibbing. All right, hey buddy, in California, we're expecting 3 to 5 inches of powder over the next 3 days. Nice, I'm jealous. As you can see out here, it's warm. We got plenty of snow at the top of the mountains, but down the valley here, it's warm, so we're not getting any new snow. Brian Price, the possibilities are endless. They are. In fact, as soon as I've caught up with the questions, I'm just going to show you a bunch of different stuff on the balance bar, different combos and things. And if you have any requests, feel free to call them out, and I will pop in and check back for the comments. No, feet. Oh, 3 to 5 feet. Damn, that's way better. 3 to 5 inches. I thought, oh, that's not a big deal, but 3 to 5 feet. That's insane. Okay, I'm going to do a bunch of jib tricks, and feel free to call out or write down different things you want to see. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go nose press, front board, out. Front board, lip slide, back lip, back tail, 180 into nose press. Oh, tail press, front 1, 270 in. Front 1 out. Switch tail press. Hi, Bryn. Okay, I'm gonna do a switch 270 in. Regular 270 in. And I had the white top piece to make it harder, but I got to go breather because whew, it's puffed. It's a workout. I'm sweating already. Okay. Can you practice butters and presses with the jib board? You can definitely practice presses. And practicing presses is like practicing butters. Very similar. So you can't get the movement of butters, but you can definitely practice presses. Sierra cement this time of year. Yeah, I'm sure. It's warm, so the snow gets pretty heavy. Do you live in Whistler Resort? I do. Yeah, it's like a little town. So Whistler's a town of about 12,000 people, and been living here for 15 years. Could you do that on an incline? You definitely can. If you had like a grassy incline slope, you could do it. What we've done in the past is we've taken like a deodorant stick and put deodorant stick on top of the balance bar, and that gives you the ability to actually slide the balance bar as if you were sliding a rail on the mountain. So yeah, that's kind of, well, we actually did it on a trampoline too, where we had the jib board and the trampoline balance bar on the side, lubed up the balance bar with a stick of deodorant, and then we could slide parts of the balance bar, do tricks in, like board slide in, lip slide in, and then do tricks out. I'm going to check the white top piece on and have another jump around. If you guys want to see anything in particular or want to learn any particular tricks, write it in the comments, and I will cover the technique for those certain tricks. Okay, so the white top piece makes it harder, a little bit higher off the ground, a little bit less to balance on. You're going to challenge your balance board. You're going to have to be a little bit more on it than just using the blue base. So if I come in through the front side, I'm regular, and I jump up and over the rail, that's a frontside lip slide. That's frontside lip slide, the fakie. Switch frontside lip slide. Now it's behind me, backside. If I jump all the way over with the board, all the way over, that's a backside lip slide. Backside, lip slide. This is giving you an example of the slick base. You can do kind of funky things like this. You wouldn't really do this much on a snowboard, but you can start to challenge your balance, spinning around on them, which is pretty fun, actually. I mean, all of this stuff is going to make you a way better snowboarder just by practicing this stuff. Someone was asking about presses before, so I'm going to do some nose and tail presses. Tail press, nose press, nose press, front one out, change up, front board, pretzel. So if you do a 270 out of a front board or a 270 out of a backboard, that's normally called a pretzel. So if I went frontside tailslide 270 out, that's rotation the whole way around. So spinning in the same direction, tailslide 270 out. Whereas if I go onto my board and spin the other way like this, where I got on one way and span out the other way, that's called a pretzel. just going to take a breather because it is hot. It's hot and sunny. Queer. Damn, I'm late. No, buddy, you're on time, man.
Hi.
Brendan, come on out.
I need to get my castle.
You want to come out and try out the jib board?
I'm going to get my castle fit.
Okay. My son just got home from daycare, so he might come out and help us on the balance bar. So what do you guys want to know about snowboarding? Shoot me your questions. Who's got a question about their technique, or who's got a bit of video they want me to review? Or, what's a trick you want to learn that you want me to go over? Milk Dromita says, it's summer. It is. It's getting to be summer. It's May. It's starting to get hot. It's good. But we're going to miss snowboarding for the next 6 months. So what do you guys want to know about snowboarding? Who's got a good question? Who wants to know something about snowboard addiction? Who's got a trick they want to learn next year, next winter, or the coming winter? How do you suggest exercise in the off season? Sporto man. Well, for snowboarding specific sports, the more related it could be, the better it's going to be for you. So one example of a sport that would be super good for snowboarding is skateboarding. Balance of skateboarding is got a lot of very similar tricks to snowboarding. Things like even like ollies, how to ollie on a skateboard. If you can ollie on a skateboard, give me one tick, I'm just going to close up the door. So if you can get on and do skateboarding, that's going to be really handy for your snowboarding. Another thing would be like wakeboarding, wakeboarding, kiteboarding, anything that's going to use the similar muscles and similar body positions. If you're not into any of those sports, just staying in shape, going to the gym or going mountain bike riding or going hiking, anything that keeps you in shape is just going to be good for you. But the best thing is things that train your muscles specifically. Like if you have a trampoline in your backyard, get on the tramp board. If you want to get a jib board, practice jibbing. All that stuff's going to build those muscles for snowboarding. How much does a unit cost? Are the pieces sold individually? Yeah, Brian, all the pieces are sold individually. If you go over to snowboardaddiction.com, you can see all the different prices. All the stuff's in US dollars because most of our biggest proportion of customers are in the US, but you can buy them all over the world. We have a shipping warehouse in England, a couple of shipping warehouses in the States, and one in Canada. So I don't know exactly where you are, but you can change it into your currency on the website. And yeah, you can, if you don't want to buy ours, because I know some of them are a little bit pricey because we're ordering stuff in small quantities. You can always make your own. It won't be quite as good as ours, but it'll do the trick. All right. Well, if no one's got any questions about snowboarding, I am going to teach you guys something else for the last 10 minutes here. And I'm going to teach you how to do a nose and tail press. Okay? Okay, so I'm strapped into the jib board here. Now, most of the time when you're snowboarding, your weight's going to be central in between both of your feet, right? When you want to start doing things like buttering and pressing, that's when you're going to be moving your balance around on the board. So if you watch my position here, if I want to do a nose press, a lot of people think that you'll be lifting the back of your foot. That doesn't do anything. There's no balance in lifting the back of your foot. What you actually have to do is move the weight of your hips. So if you watch this, I'm going to take my hips all the way over until they're pressing into the nose of my board. And what you're going to see is now the board is pressing and the tail is lifting. I'm not lifting the tail. I'm not lifting it up. I'm just pressing my weight to a point on my board that automatically brings that board up and starts it flexing. That's a nose press. If you wanted to go into a tail press, same thing. Take your weight from that central position, move your hips back until the board starts flexing up at the front. Now you'll see that my front leg is kind of straightened out, my back leg is still bent. That's just happened by default of pushing my weight into that point of the board. I'm not lifting the nose, I'm balancing and pressing into the tail. This position is how you're going to be buttering on a snowboard and how you're going to be doing nose and tail presses. So learning how to do this will be really useful for your buttering. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that on the balance bar for you so you can see it. I'm going to turn the balance bar a little bit sideways so you can see the nose and tail press position. So here, if you're just starting out, you can just jump up into a 50-50. And once you're balanced in a 50-50, you see my legs start to shake. That's because I'm using different balancing muscles, which is good. Now I'm going to take my weight, I'm going to move it back until my board starts flexing in a tail press position. Not lifting my front foot, I'm putting my weight into the tail of my board and flexing in the tail press. Okay? Now, once you can do that, that's when you can start jumping straight up into a tail press. So I'm jumping into the balance bar and tail pressing. Jumping up, tail pressing. Try to the nose press, jump up, nose press. Coming out. Jumping into the nose press, jumping out. Now you guys might see that as I get into the nose and tail press, I actually ollie and nollie out of the position. That's on purpose because it makes it look better and it makes it feel good. So you could just go nose press, out, or you can go jump up into a nose press and nollie out of that position. It makes it feel better, it makes it look better, and it's a better technique. Okay, so I'm doing it from the front side here. If you did it with the rail behind you, it would be called backside. So you got backside nose press, backside tail press. I'm probably making it look pretty easy because I have done a lot of this. So you probably won't find it as easy, but you'll build those muscles over time. Okay. Body position for steep mogul terrain. So I think you're probably talking about moguls. And let me tell you about the body position real quickly. Okay, so for moguls, which moguls are like big, bumpy, varied terrain. And generally skiers seem to like moguls. Snowboarders don't like them as much, but we definitely get stuck different times where we have to go and ride through mogul-y terrain. So if your weight is not central as you ride through moguls, you will get bucked off balance. What I mean by that is when you're snowboarding, you've got different centers of weight. You've got towards your toes, towards your heels. You've got towards your nose, towards your tail. If your weight is evenly spaced between both feet, you're going to be balanced that way. But if you're bending over like this, that probably means you've got too much weight towards the heel of your board and you're trying to compensate. So what you need to do in that position is move your hips, knees, and shins forward until the weight of your body is up on top of the board. If you can get the weight of your body on top of the board, this way and this way, you're going to be more balanced, which is going to mean that you can ride better through mogul-y type terrain. Because as soon as you get in like crazy moguls, you're going to get bucked out of position way quicker than just on a normal slope. So it all comes down to where is your weight over that board. And if you guys are having trouble in things like mogul terrain, send me a video of you riding moguls and I will be able to see what's going on and hopefully give you some pointers. Olin, are you planning on having a new top sheet design for the boards? Yes, it's coming very, very soon. We are just finishing up production run of it right now and getting them shipped into our warehouses. Yeah, we got some new designs coming out very, very quick. Have you tried the penguin walk on the job board? Sorry for the bunch of questions. Don't worry about the bunch of questions, man. I'm here to answer your guys' stuff. So I like it when people are cranking out the questions. Yeah, I have tried the penguin walk on the Jib board. Doesn't work as well as it does on the mountain. When you're on the mountain, you've got snow, so you can move around and feel what that penguin walk feels like. You can't really feel that as much on the Jib board, but you can jump nose press, tail press, nose press, tail press. So I'll do that for you. Just wait since you're asking a question. So if I strap into the jib board, and penguin walk on a snowboard is how you get around flat areas, nose, tail, you know, jumping from nose to tail to nose to tail. And then on the mountain, you start using your edges. That'll help you move around a little bit. So if you're going tail, nose, and you start edging, then you can start moving. I'm not going to move around the whole balcony here because I'd rather keep on the mat. It keeps the balance, just keeps the board looking better and stuff. But this is what you can do on the jib board, is you can balance from like nose press to tail press, ollie, nose press to tail press. And if you want to challenge, go tail press, ollie, tail press, ollie, tail press, ollie, tail press, ollie, nose press, nollie, nose press, nollie, nose press. You want to make it more difficult, try it on the balance bar. Nose press, nollie, nose press, nollie, oh, lost balance. Tail press, tail press, ollie, tail press, ollie, off. So yeah, it's a bit of an alternative, more of an advanced penguin walk that you can practice here at home. Okay. Tricky, hello. How you doing? Chuck Van, related to pressing. Tips for successful penguin walk and transition riding after a few steps. Transition riding after a few steps. Yeah, okay. Let's give that a quick go. It's very similar to what I was just talking about. So doing the penguin walk is kind of like nose press, tail press, but you're using it to get around flat areas. So the only difference from just nose press, tail press is on a snowboard, you use your edges and you start putting your edge in the snow while doing that nose tail to start moving around. And what he was asking about on the chat here is how do you transition that into momentum, into riding? So how you do that is if you're going nose press, tail press, nose press, tail press, you start to use some toe edge to be able to get some momentum. I'll do a small one here. Nose press, tail press, nose press, tail press. It's not going to be long until I'm out of the screen. Once you've done it 4 or 5 times and you've got a bit of momentum, then you have to jump that board straight and keep it straight. So, for example, if I went nose press, tail press, and I got some momentum, and then I jumped and put the board in the direction I want to go, then you'll be able to carry that momentum and get across the flat area. So, nose press, I'm just kind of imagining I'm going nose press, tail press, and then as you keep doing that, you go jump, put the board the direction you want to go, and try to carry that momentum across that flat area. That's not something you can practice super well on a jib board. It's better to actually practice that on the mountain on your snowboard. Okay. We have a whole summer to practice this. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm going to say that as soon as I've caught up on all the questions, I'm going to cut the live stream a little bit short today. It's normally 5:30 to 6:30, so we're just going to go to 6:15 today. Any questions you guys have, last questions, feel free to fire them through, and I'll do my best to answer them. Other than that, I'm going to leave you guys to it, and I'll do another one of these next week, Wednesday, 5:30. I know it's getting into summer for most of us, but we will get another winter next year. And until then, we will be doing summer activities like mountain biking, skateboarding, wakeboarding, surfing, all that stuff. Cool. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the questions. I love the support of all the customers. And yeah, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I'm Nev Lapwood from Snowboard Addiction. Our goal is to improve your riding.